It's a battle, win or lose. It's the friends you make, it's the road you choose. You got the right stuff, so make your mind up. Find the courage inside of you. If you're strong, you'll survive and you'll keep your dream alive. It's the battle frontier. Pokemon, be the best you can be and find your destiny. It's the master plan. The power's in your hand. Pokemon. You've got the strength to win it, so stay in it. If you're smart, you can take it all. If you're strong, you'll survive and you'll keep your dream alive. It's the battle frontier. Pokemon, be the best you can be and find your destiny. It's the master plan. It's the master plan. The power's in your hand. Pokemon.
Hello and welcome to this week's Pokémon Pedantics. This week we are doing the official, yes, the official ranking for all of the Pokémon regions. And you heard right, this is the definitive list. All of their opinions are wrong. Your opinion? Wrong. My mother? Wrong. My sister? Wrong. My dad? Dead.
With the escalation right off the rip, we'd like to see it.
He's not actually dead, he's fine. Anyways. So. Oh god, these aren't fucking ordered yet. God, fucking. What kind of fucking show are we running here, damn it? We'll just leave that there. No reason to do it. With me, once again, is my professional Pokemon player from Utah.
What's up, folks? Boyd Red.
Alright, now then, let's get to work, because I'm sure we're going to tear each other's throats out by the end of this.
Give or take.
Alright, so starting with number 1, Kanto. Okay, you're probably going to kill me for this, but that's where I think Kanto list says.
Well, I would like to tell you what I see, but you don't have your screen up for me yet.
Okay. God damn it. Fucking. You could have told me that before we went live! You fucking mongrel! You could have told me I wasn't casting live yet!
Oh, come on, that was funny.
You bastard.
Oh, come on. Alright, so, you
letting me hang myself to dry. I hate you sometimes. Why'd I agree to do this?
No, man. I don't know what to say. I thought it would be funny. Alright, so...
Alright. Fucking bullshit.
You might want to mention basically the 3 main categories we're going off of.
Oh, yeah. So, we kind of have 3 categories, and they will be ignored and thrown to the wayside as we see fit, because, you know, we both have a specific idea of what belongs where. But the 3 categories we sort of agreed on are diversity of Pokemon, livability, and cool places in that region. Shit, what was the third one?
And the third one was effectively, would you like to live here, yay or nay? Geography and basically the generalized cities.
Oh yeah.
Pokemon
cities and Pokemon places and livability. That's what it was. So I think Kanto belongs in B and stays in B.
Yeah, going off of this newer rating compared to how we first attempted.
Don't talk about the first recording. No one talks about it.
But
they don't need to know what happened. No one needs to know what happened.
Going off of my own personal spreadsheet, I would definitely say...
You made a spreadsheet for this?
Not necessarily a spreadsheet, but brief notes.
Right.
But just knowing
you is probably a Venn diagram.
I mean, I thought about it, I won't lie.
Oh my god.
I will agree with the B, however, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think any of the regions that I would place in the B category will beat Kanto.
Really? You think nothing will be above B in this ranking?
Oh, no, I'm talking about if anything else goes in B, it will remain behind Kanto. I have 3 regions that I think that are better, but in terms of average, I think Kanto's the best amongst the group in terms of average.
Really?
Yep. And I think that personally, because they actually have a good diversity of mons with a solid actual ecosystem within it amongst the mons. And while it is a primarily wooded and mountainous range, I also think that the idea of basically imagine hiking through it, I think would be pretty freaking lit. Don't get me wrong, they are definitely lacking in some remarkable landmarks, but they also do have like the Orange Islands, some off the mainland. And that is something I'm trying to also bear in mind. So, compared to a bunch of the other regions I would personally put in B in advance, I don't think any of them compete with that. And I'd give it a 6 out of 10 in terms of a place I wouldn't mind living in.
Yeah, but you got to kind of take off the nostalgia goggles for this one, because Kanto, as neat as it is, every fucking gym is in a goddamn city.
Oh, yes,
Literally
no.
every single one. There's not a gym that has like a unique feel or a unique place built up around it. Every single gym is in a city, one way or another. It's just not, fun to walk around. I mean, compare that with like some of the gyms in Unova. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes,
Like
and
there's I'm not sure if this was Unova. I'd like to think it was, but it's been a while. I'll just say that. Heckin', there's that one gym that there's just a punk rock concert just going on as you're fighting the gym.
there's 2 gyms that do that, kinda.
Yeah,
But
but
know
the
which
first
one you're
one, the
referring
first
to.
one was the best one.
I would actually argue the second one, but that's
Really, you're gonna defend Sword and Shield on this?
yeah, because he actively went against the grain of all the other gym leaders, giving them actual personality. Whereas the one chick, what's special about her? She uses poison types and likes rock music. That's it.
I still say I like the vibe of the first one over the second one. Anyways, we have to get back to Kanto.
Yeah. But so personally, in my eyes, I view B as average, and Kanto's pretty average. So there's nothing really great about it, but there's also nothing really bad about it. And that's with me having the nostalgia goggles off. Otherwise, I personally would rate it higher just because it has what I personally would think is more ideal living style for me.
Well, I guess I can understand that, but like, look at what the other categories are below this. Like, we have a lot of different ranks here.
Oh yeah, and I'll be real with you. C is below average. That's at least how I view it. Kill the shiny. I have one for that. Don't you worry. I got one for that one. And as for Dunsparce, that's kind of like, I wouldn't say it's below average.
I would say Dunsparce is like, okay, so C is like completely average. That's the passing grade. Dunsparce is completely average. It's oatmeal, and then you have bottom tier. So yeah, that's just how it goes.
If you're considering C as average, then that's where I would put Kanto. Kanto's pretty middle ground for
You
me.
put Kanto in C.
Because like I said, there's nothing really fantastic, but there's nothing bad about it either. It's just average.
It is the first one. I mean, it's not like we're putting it in Dunsparce.
Exactly. Like, the one thing that truly carries it to me is the diversity of mons that are found there and their evolutionary traits and how they are actually meant to fight against
Did you know
one
that
another.
Pikachu was
survive
meant to be
their
based off of a squirrel, not a mouse?
Yeah, funny how that turned out, didn't it?
Yeah. It's just like, I literally watched this thing where it's like, oh yeah, by the way, the creator of Pikachu basically wanted to be a squirrel because she figured out that squirrels had longer tails so they could make a lightning bolt off of it. And it was the pouch, she got the idea from storing electricity in her cheeks because squirrels like store nuts. And I'm just like, huh. They really dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah. Translations be fuckered, I guess.
All right, what was the next one? It was
Johto. Where are you gonna put it? Because I already know I'm gonna get some heat.
Where do I put Johto? Where do I put Johto? Okay. Where do I put Johto? Fuck. Okay. Just because of that one bitch that tells you, nah, I'm not giving you the gym badge.
Oh, you're so much nicer than I am. So much nicer than I am. Me personally, wet sock. Straight up wet sock.
You'd fail Johto right off the bat. You would fail Johto.
I will preface this beforehand. All right, I love the Johto games. However, Johto as a region is as bland as you can get. There's nothing but inconveniences. All the towns look almost the exact fucking same, even more so than Kanto. They at least have a large generalized city. The closest that we have is Goldenrod City, which its main attraction is a train tracks. That's fucking it. Their diversity of mons is atrocious. Seriously, half the mons that are like naturally found there are literal baby mons. Let that sink in. And that doesn't even include just the fact that me personally, I'm not a huge fan of the whole like hardcore Japanese aesthetic. They went with almost every fucking town and almost every building looking the same.
They do have those fucking chicks in the one area. I forgot about them.
Yeah, the kimono girls. And don't be wrong, they're cool. I like them.
They're probably literally the only cool part about Johto.
But that's why I would say you chose to change it to testicular torsion, baby.
Johto has like some of the best starters in the series, but like some of the worst places to live. Like, what is cool about living in Johto? Like I'm hanging out, I'm in the Wonder Trade lobby, and I'm talking to somebody from like Kalos or someone from Sinnoh, and it's like, yeah, I live in Johto. Oh my god, you live in Johto? Yeah, that must suck.
You know, this is actually low-key the vibe I get. If anytime I left the U.S. and told people I was from Utah, they'd be like, what the hell is Utah? I feel like that's what it'd be like if you came from Johto. Alright? You're from Johto? What the hell is that?
I still would say that Johto isn't the worst on the list. Trust me, I have one for testicular torsion.
There is only one region, I argue, that could potentially go there, and that one I will also get heat for. But
dude, we're both gonna get heat for the one I think about. Trust me. I think we're definitely gonna get like a bat over the head. I know it's gonna happen.
But there's no way in hell I can, in goodwill, put Johto in average. I would say minimum Dunsparce is the absolute highest, but it's at the bottom of that Dunsparce tier. That's where I would put Johto.
I can't front that, but I feel like you're wrong though.
If to break down everything that's like unique about it, we have one ice cave, right? We have one ice cave. Their Safari Zone is half-assed at best.
The lighthouse is cool, kinda.
The lighthouse. Don't get me wrong. It's a nice taste. It's a nice little touch. But bear in mind, a lot of other regions have that. But the fact that that's just like a little like a little bit of like a. The fact that the lighthouse and the railroad tracks are some of the more memorable things of Johto, when many other regions just have that thrown in without it being a key component.
Yeah, but
like, for crying out loud, they're still using a damn Ampharos to guide the damn boats.
What about that forest with all the bug types and the Noctowls?
Oh, you mean like the same one that you can find in Kanto at Viridian Forest?
Oh.
Like, the problem I have with Johto is just there's like 4 good Pokemon where I'm like, yeah, you know, they're great. I love them. The ones that came to my mind is Scizor, Steelix, Entei, and Raikou.
Perfect.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
But like, those are the mons that were added that were actually unique. There's only really 5 Pokemon from that region that I view are actually quote-unquote diverse or different that is specific to Johto comparatively to some of the other regions. Being Scizor, Steelix, considering this is about time we get more industrialized, makes sense. They get a metal coating, they evolve and adapt with us. And the 3 legendary dogs, purely because of a potential myth / headcanon, which route you want to go.
But what about the Unknown? The Unknown are introduced here, and they're cool shit.
The only time I'm okay with floating alphabet is in tomato soup. Alright? They're straight up annoying.
We can't just put Johto in failed Nuzlocke and just call it a day.
I will accept Dunsparce. I will accept that, but I can't in good conscience put Johto in just average. I just can't. Like,
I can't believe I can't front though because I really can't defend it. You're not wrong. I mean, what were even the fossils in Johto?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. None.
Oh God, you're right. Johto had no fossils.
No fossils. The only decent thing of Johto that makes it truly stand out amongst the others is they had my honest God opinion, a more better like mythological presence in terms of the Burning Tower and the 3 Wandering Dogs, and the 2 legendaries are pretty sick. But outside of that, there is nothing of relevance. There, like, every high point about it becomes just a background drop of another city later down the road in the region.
Fine. Oh shit. Fine. Johto goes in Dunsparce.
Thank you, brother.
Literally one of the best openings ever, though.
So now I'm curious, Hoenn. I'm curious to see what you got to say about that.
You really want to see where I put Hoenn?
All right, let's see it. Okay.
With I'm about to argue my way up to S.
I'll buckle up, boy.
Okay,
Buckle
listen. Ignore the memes. Shut the fuck up about the water, alright? Hoenn is probably one of the best, most diverse places in the entire line except for maybe Galar. They have a volcano forest, they have like mountains that actually are cool. They have they have that one gym that's literally hooked into the volcanic heat so they can make like a oh god, fucking I'm getting too excited. The hot springs. Thank you. There's a desert there. There's also there's just so many cool places. There's a whole town on an island. There's a whole town in the base of a dead volcano. There is so many cool places to go to in Hoenn. And being like, you could say, oh yeah, I'm from Lava Ridge Town. Yeah, we got these cool ass lava cookies. Or it's like, oh yeah, I'm from Mos Deep, right?
Yep, Mos Deep City.
Oh yeah, I'm from Mos Deep. You're from Mos Deep? How'd you know what I mean? Like there's name one place in Kanto or Johto or anywhere else where you go, yeah, I'm from here, and people would go, holy shit, that's awesome.
Well, I don't know about awesome, but I could probably think of one place where, like, okay, that's pretty meh, and it's Fallabor Town. Don't get me wrong, it's cool because the town is literally, like, built upon wooden planks on top of the literal
I was about to say,
ocean.
you're really gonna smack talk Full Arbor?
But the thing is there's not a damn thing out there. There's a reason why anytime someone wants to, like, soft lock, they pick that place, because there's fucking nothing there. Now, I will say, I don't disagree with Hoenn in A. I do not think it's an S tier region, but I do see A at least being a good call. High B, medium A max. That's where I would put it.
I still say Hoenn should sit at the top of A. There's so many cool Pokemon in Hoenn. There's so many cool things to do. Plus, just everything about Hoenn is cool. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, so much got introduced in this region. So much got introduced. So many cool things. And there's just like, you know, like where it's like, look at how much Johto lacked versus how much Hoenn had.
You're correct. And that is where I will say to give it some pointers.
Also, returns with some of the best fucking fossils in the entire damn series.
I'll be real with you, I actually prefer the Gen 1 fossils over the Gen 3 fossils.
That's just a you thing.
Like, don't get me wrong, they're okay, but Cradily, I'll be real.
You just don't like how Cradily looks. That's one of the big ones that people just can't get over, how Cradily and Lileep look.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, do I think it's cool that it's a plant fossil? Yes, that is cool. I'll be real with you, I can't look at that damn Pokemon the same. I can't take it serious. Like, it looks like a Pokemon that you would draw on a hentai to do questionable things, okay?
Let's not go there, especially after last time.
But
we don't talk about the first recording.
Now, what I will say about, like, some of the more interactive mons in Hoenn, such as the 2 pseudos, being Bloody Salamence, Metagross, we have the Beast that is slacking, and this is the first time that things actually could have been really, like, planetary level broken due to the legends.
But they actually balanced them super well. One of the few times like Game Freak ever balanced anything. Game Freak could have called it a day and said, "Oh yeah, Slacken has these fucking whatever," but no, they gave him Truant.
I will say though, at least this real quick, in Slack King's defense, I definitely think that while Truant necessary, it makes Slack King a garbage ass mon. It makes him so bad. And it sucks. Like, you're not throwing a Vigoroth.
I will admit, like, half the time I give my Vigoroth an Everstone and fucking forget about it. But at the same time, there are cool mons. I mean,
Yeah,
fuck, what does Shroomish evolve into? Breloom, and he's sick as fuck.
I'll be real.
That fucking motherfucker learns Mach Punch.
I'm pretty mad about Breloom personally. Like, I don't think it's bad, but it's pretty mad for me.
I think he's
what
cool.
I love is Salamence.
I love fucking Mushroom Kangaroo. He's great.
Like,
Also, some of the easily the gym leaders with the best drip.
Let's see here.
Yeah, you think about it, and most of the gym leaders aren't actually wearing anything of worth. I mean, fuck, even What's-Her-Bucket is, like, wearing a, just a dress and just Sinnoh.
I'll be real. I wouldn't say the gym leaders, but the Elite Four, I think, actually look pretty solid.
Yeah.
Like, especially Drake as part of Elite Four. Man's a bloody pirate.
I love how the one Ghost Leader chick is just in a fucking beach outfit. My headcanon for her is that she was on vacation, but then you hit Victory Road, and they had to call her back. So she just flew in, and they're like, "Where's your scary outfit? I just came from the beach. Shut up."
Well, I was at the beach like 20 minutes ago. You gotta work with what we got, okay? That's actually not a bad headcanon.
That's the first time I saw her. I was playing on the couch, and my grandmother looked over my shoulder, and she's like, "Oh, what type of trainer is her?" Because I would tell her about my Pokemon adventures, and I said she's a ghost type trainer, but I don't get what she's wearing. And then she's like, "Maybe she was at the beach," and that just became my headcanon.
Fair enough. I gotta give props to the Zangoose and Seviper interaction between the two of them.
Some of the best like specialty like region locked Pokemon ever. Like even if like you're not the biggest fan of either of them, they're still great additions to the team.
I mean, hell, Zangoose literally has access to either immunity where he can't be poisoned, or toxic boost where if he gets poisoned, you just made him hit harder.
Like you either have a really sturdy poison tank, or you have a really hard-hitting striker. Which one? Like, pick your poison, literally. Like, both of them are great.
And I will say, Seviper kind of got dealt dirty in that matchup, but I'm a Zangoose stan personally. I fucking love Zangoose.
I love Zangoose, but if I come across a Seviper, I'm not gonna snub my nose at it, because Seviper, like I said, he's a really strong poison tank. He's really good. Like, if
he's not really a tank. He's actually pretty fragile, but he's fast and hits hard. I will give him that.
Oh yeah, Arbok's the more the tanky one. I guess I got them mixed up.
I don't worry. It's a fucking snake. Like,
Dude,
if it's gonna be any type thing, it's gonna be poison.
How tanky is Arbok? Like, Arbok has no right being as tanky as it is.
It's not bad. Okay, so Arbok is well-rounded.
Oh god, we're talking. No. We need to get back to this.
Anyway, but the only problem I have about Hoenn is, as much as you want to say, like, ignore the memes, you can't ignore that half of the region is effectively either underwater or is on the ocean.
Yeah, but
even more so.
This was the first time we got to dive underneath the water. It was the first time. You can't look at it through modern day lenses and just say, "Oh, too much water."
Well, I'm not saying that the fact that there's too much. From a gameplay standpoint, I didn't care. As in terms of where would I want to live, if I'm living close to the literal god of the sea, I don't necessarily want to live where that motherfucker wakes up. It's a tsunami.
Being on the land was so much better, covered in lava. At least you float.
Yeah, no, you see, that's the thing. Because of those legends is why I don't want to live in Hoenn. They are so damn volatile. And if Rayquaza does not show up quickly, all the fucking crops for that year, fucked. Just complete and utter screwed. There's nothing to do.
We can eat the Slowbros. We'll be fine.
But that, like, at the end of the day, I still think Hoenn is an A tier, even though it's one of the places I would least like to live in. Just because of the legends.
I still
and
say
how
we can.
volatile
I
they are.
still say Hoenn, like, because what else are we gonna put in S tier?
Well, I've got two. I've got two competitors I can go in S. And that's why I'm saying Hoenn does.
I am going to fight you later on this, but we have to move on. I still say Hoenn belongs in S tier, and we'll see what happens by the end of this.
Right.
All right,
Next
what
is
was next?
Sinnoh.
Ugh.
Yeah, okay, so it looks like you and I might actually agree on this one. But I'm gonna wait and see where you put this bitch.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Alright. Let's see where you put... Wow!
Look. Sinnoh's not a bad game.
Here, I thought I
not-
was a dick.
Shut up. Sinnoh's not a bad game. And don't you fucking gaslight me over this. You were gonna put it down there too.
Not that low. Put it down? Yes. That low? No. But I want to hear why you say that. I want to hear why you
Sinnoh's
put
not
it
a bad game. Sinnoh's not bad in general. But if I have to go to another fucking lake, ever, okay, like, half the game is just the fucking underground too. Like, oh yeah, look at our giant cave system. Don't pay attention to the overworld. Like, okay, name one place in Sinnoh besides the lakes. That's
Malcornet. Literally taking you up to what is essentially the birthplace of God and Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina.
Okay, that's one. Name three more.
Let's see here. Another place. I actually low-key think their Safari Zone is lit, considering it's more of a marshy field compared to a lot of the other ones.
The Safari Zone is hype. That was actually something that's like a strike against Hoenn, is because the Safari Zone is like so nothing in that game.
Yeah. And then...
When Kanto Safari Zone is better than yours, you know you have a problem.
Yeah, you're not wrong on that. And then as for a third place, honestly, the snowy area where Regigigas is supposed to be.
Okay, Sinnoh might have some cool places. Some. But that's all it has. I still say that Sinnoh is like maybe bottom of the tier list when it comes to like, okay, if not top of Focus Miss, it is at the bottom of Dunsparce. Like I'll give that ground, but you'll have to give ground on something later. But honestly, I just can't rank Sinnoh high. There's just nothing there.
So, in regards to the Pokemon...
When I play Sinnoh, like, there are some places I can think of where I'm like, oh yeah, I can't wait to hit up that place, because that place looks kind of cool. But, like, that's only, like, 2 or 3 areas. Like, I'm looking more forward to the Pokemon than the locations. Like, I play Hoenn, and it's like, yeah, finally get to go to the desert! You know what I mean?
So, for me personally, I am going to point this out. If you're going to give Hoenn credit for going underwater, I think that should apply to Sinnoh being underground. But what I will say about Sinnoh, because like I said, Sinnoh is meant to be an inconvenience. I am not praising it for it. I hate that. I absolutely hate how slow it is between all the marshy stuff you got to work through.
Oh yeah, I took 2 steps, fell into the swamp again.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. That's annoying as all hell.
I don't know what the hell they were thinking about. It's like, oh yeah, let's just drop in the swamp.
And this is what I'll also say about Sinnoh as to why I would put it around the Dunsparce region, is their Mon diversity. There's 2 fucking fire types that are naturally found there until Platinum came out.
What were they again?
Rapidash and Infernape.
Oh god,
Rapidash and Infernape.
I forgot Sinnoh only had 2 fire types.
Oh yes. Now I will say, some of their other Mons, Garchomp, are ungodly good. Like, between Garchomp, Luxray, Staraptor, but the biggest problem I have with it is the diversity is atrocious. Almost everyone has ran the identical team a lot of the playthroughs. And in terms of like how the cities differ from one another, like don't get me wrong, there's a fair amount of them that are quite the difference amongst them, but not enough where I could even put it in average. I would say Sinnoh is below average. And I fucking love Sinnoh. Hell, I think they have the greatest Elite Four outside of Flint the Fire Trainer, because that's no damn Fire Trainer. Cynthia, we cannot sleep on her, but she's not part of the region.
Literally the only thing, I'll give you this, the only thing keeping Sinnoh out of focus miss is Cynthia and her Garchomp. Or Garchomp and Cynthia. They're, like, Garchomp being in the area, and you can catch a Garchomp, or a Gibble in this instance, and Cynthia are the only thing keeping Sinnoh out of focus miss.
And that's what I will say too, that I think Sinnoh did great. I hope more games do more in the future, is you could get access to the pseudo early, because it's not like it's going to be good till you get to late game anyway. Pseudo legends upon level up usually have lower than average stats anyway. Then they get to their final form, it's like, oh, time to break some skulls now.
Precisely.
But that's where I would put Sinnoh in the Dunsparce tier personally. I think Johto is slightly better, only because the literal diversity of Sinnoh is even worse somehow. And I didn't even think that was possible.
I'll give you that. Bottom of Dunsparce. It stays nowhere else but that.
There's only... yeah, honestly, I can agree to that after looking at the other regions left.
Alright, what was next?
Unova.
Unova. The Unova and Kalos are the two places I spent the least amount of time, so you're gonna have to carry this.
Easy. Oh boy.
First off, what were the starters?
The starters were Snivy, Tepig, and
Oh, so Unova, that was Unova, right?
Yep.
That was Unova. Kalos had,
Kalos
and Fennekin.
Yeah, Finnegan, Froakie, and I forgot the grass starter's name because no one gives a shit. Chespin. Chespin's his name.
Chespin, God, poor baby Chespin. Honestly, he was such a cool idea, and he just got fucking shat on.
It's because his design, his typing, and everything about him was mediocre at best. Garbage at the most.
His final evolution looked kind of cool though.
Bro, you are in the minority of that. You are in the literal minority of that.
I just don't like being mean to the starters. They're poor babies, and you need to help them. That's why I like Galar, because like no matter what gets left, like the little mod like looks left and right. He's like and then Leon's like don't worry, buddy, come with me.
Yeah, I'll be real with you. I think the internet as a whole likes Meganium, the most boring starter out of all the regions, more than Chestnut's final evolution.
I'm pretty sure we could just do an entire episode about how much you hate Meganium in that line in general. But we're not talking about Kalos yet. We're talking about Unova.
Yeah, so where do you think you would place Unova?
Well,
because I do have a feeling that you and I are going to have differing opinions.
Unova was the one where Iris was hanging out, right?
Yep, Iris is from
Okay,
Unova.
I know exactly where I'm putting this then. I just had to make sure.
Oh, our opinions aren't that different, actually.
I just think Unova's neat. Like,
it's based all around New York City.
There are neat places. There are cool, like, other places to go. Like, I can name off the top of my head, like, a couple places I'd want to settle down if I was in Unova. Like, it's a decent place, honestly. Like,
my biggest problem with Unova is...
I can't front. Unova's awesome. I mean, being personally, if I could have my choice, I'd live in Hoenn, but if I couldn't live in Hoenn, I'd live in Unova.
My problem with Unova is I don't like cities in general, but...
I don't like
Unova.
cities either, but there are places in Unova that are, like, rural and cool and, you know, tight-knit.
Oh, yeah. You see, the reasons why I would put Unova either in the A or B tier is purely, one, their Pokemon is the epitome of, as humans are adapting, so are they. Hence why more Pokemon came out to be more industrialized, like Kling, and a couple others that look more human-made than they were natural. And honestly, I think that's cool, because it shows that the Pokemon are evolving with humans, and I thought that was lit.
Garfoder.
I know a lot of people don't like that, but I think it's pretty cool, honestly.
I remember reading Garbodor's Pokedex entry, and just thinking to myself, so I could go into any building in the Pokemon World universe and look in a trash can, and there could just be a Garbodor hanging out.
Yep. Ain't that pretty funny?
Yeah.
And I will say,
which I didn't know how I felt about that, because I was like, Pokemon should be separate, and I was like, it kind of grew on me, because I'm like, that'd be kind of cool, just
it does.
having ambient Pokemon just hanging around a place.
Like, honestly, I'll be real with you. Unova was one of the most controversial generations upon release outside of Galar, and people are now like fall in love with it. But what I will say about it's the misplaced rage effect. I don't have an official name for it, but the same thing happened with Subspace Emissary for Brawl. Because, like, oh, Brawl's terrible, then we had World of Light, then everyone's like, Subspace Emissary wasn't that bad. It was actually the best in the series. It's like, oh, really? A little late for that, you motherfucker. Like, it's the same thing. Unova got a bunch of hate, but now that we've had a bunch of shitty Pokemon games, it's like, okay, Unova wasn't that bad. Yeah, it's like, yeah, but it's a little late. So, overall, I would personally give Unova either an A or a B rating, honestly. Like, there's just not a whole lot in the city to say outside of the cities look immaculate. And honestly, the gym leaders, they actually did spread out and be a bit more unique. And the Mon diversity, I thought, was actually pretty awesome. So, not to mention, shout out to apparently a castle sprouting out from the bottom of everything coming through the ground.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, wasn't it?
I personally found it pretty cool, completely unique, completely different. And so, yeah, I'd give it an A rating, personally.
Alright. We'll keep it an A, then.
Yep. Alright, so I'm curious as to where you would put Kalos at now.
How about you take the lead on this one?
A tier.
What?
Yep. Believe it or not, I would put Kalos in A tier.
On what grounds?
One, they have arguably the most diversity out of every other region of Pokemon in general. Two, not only do we have some of the, like, we got some large plains, we have very large city structures with actual vehicles taking you around the damn place. I'm willing to accept high B, but upon exploring it, Kalos was the first region that I explored that I actually thought, like, yo, this is actually pretty cool to go through. That doesn't even include, they have the wandering, like, not wandering, it's kind of like a mysterious forest that you go through that you can run into an accidental Pokemon sanctuary. Not to include, there's also the, oh my god, what is it called? It's been way too long since I've last played Kalos. It's also got, like, the rockier terrains, and I mean, for crying out loud, when you're fighting against the rock gym leader, you're rock climbing up that to take him on. Not to mention, their fossils, oh, sweet lordy. I don't care too much for Aurorus, but Tyrantrum.
Of course, this is all about Tyrantrum.
Actually, no, I listed him last for a reason. He is not the main reason, but fossils, the fact, just imagining a region like that with T-Rexes makes me laugh, considering this is supposed to be based around France, and now it's one of the most industrialized slash city-like regions out of all of them, with the main center city.
I can't front. The fossil mons are some of the fossils people have been clamoring for years. We finally have a T-Rex and a Sauropod Pokemon. A Theropod and a Sauropod Pokemon. And that's cool. But Kalos has problems, and we can't ignore it.
I'd like to hear where you would place it and why.
Okay. Okay,
About?
actually, I don't really have... I really don't have anything to say about Kalos when I think about it. Just... Big confession for me, I really didn't spend that much time with Kalos. I haven't even finished Kalos, to be honest. Just... I've spent my time with other Pokemon games.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I understand,
I mean,
because
I'll have to take your word for it, but, you know, I mean, if we get blown up in the comments, I'm coming for you.
I mean, going off of the categories that we predetermined, initially I was going to put Kalos in the C range. However, going strictly off of the geography, the diversity of Mons, and whether or not I would like to live there, it scored the second highest out of all the regions to me, considering it does have by default one of the largest regional dexes, so large diversity of Mons, with some actually pretty diverse groundings. Not as much as some of the others like Sinnoh, but nowhere near as straight up annoying. I mean, hell, there's an area that's basically constantly in the fall time. So for those of you folks that like spooky time, you have a place that's basically permanent with fall.
Yeah, they do have the fall area in Kalos.
Yep. Like imagine that, an area that's consistently fall time.
Like the Golden Grove. One of my favorite areas in D&D ever.
Like, you can't tell me that's not pretty lit.
I'll take your word for it. I trust your judgment on this. Now then.
Alola. Oh.
No question.
I'm laughing because this is about to be a battle. It's about to be a fight.
It's about to be a fucking fight.
I want to preface real quick. The Alola games are my least favorite, but I can't use that here. And I would argue that Alola, they're not as diverse as Kalos in terms of Mons.
Oh yeah, let me just go on the beach and catch a fucking sandcastle.
I will say.
I think when I put it in there, you blew out your mic because you were shouting too loud.
Possibly. Alola is actually, for me personally, the #1 place I would like to live, and their terrain is unlike any other game. There is a lot of water, and it's primarily segregated in islands.
You can't say there's too much water in Hoenn, and then say there's, like, you can't do that.
I'm well aware. Believe me.
I've conceded so much ground to you during this entire thing. You have to meet me on this. All right, like Alola is like as cool as it is to be in Pokemon Hawaii, Alola just is not, like, it just isn't. The Ultra Beasts are cool, but it's like one freaking thing. Like, okay, the Pokemon in Alola are like top tier. Yes, maybe you can convince me to put it into Dunsparce, like middle of Dunsparce, but it is not going anywhere higher than that. This is like a low tier. Like, maybe the Ultra Beasts bring it up a level. Maybe.
I would argue more for the terrain in terms of how each island actually does differ from one another. Especially the final island. There's literally an entire area that's so magnetic in nature that you carrying a magnet around would just yoink that shit out of your pocket. And I think that's pretty cool. Not to mention, it's got its own Battle Frontier-like aesthetic that's in a goddamn tree house.
How dare you try to bring the Battle Frontier into this to dissuade me?
I'm not saying actually move it up to the top.
Like, how dare you bring the best part of Hoenn into this to try and persuade me to bring it up?
Hell, you know what this has that Hoenn doesn't? You get to fight red.
Fuck you.
I'm willing to concede to Dunsparce rather than like B tier.
To be fair, I did forget about the Rainbow Rocket fight. That was
and Rainbow Rocket.
Cool. That was very, very cool. But like, I still say that like, it just, Alola just doesn't, like, it's a vacation spot. And there's weirdos in Alola, dude. There are weirdos.
Are we gonna talk about the Hoenn swimmer girl that says, I have Pokeballs, guess where I like to store
We gonna talk
'em?"
about those those girls that are Pokemon furries?
Oh yeah, I forgot about them.
And that dude that was way too affectionate with his Meowth?
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of weird people there.
Like Hoenn may have Hoenn may have like 2 weirdos in the entire game. Alola has a weirdo on every single freaking island.
My god, I just remembered. Did you remember the trials and how almost all of them, except for I think 2, took place in a very like memorable spot? And the Tapus, how you got to get them was traveling through like these temples.
Yeah.
I would argue that just the landscape alone, not including the mods, not including like in terms of how comfortable, how nice would it be to live there, I would think the landscape and the landmarks there is enough to push it to Dunsparce. I'll accept the lowest in Dunsparce, but I think it's better than the lowest tier. Just because it has such wide diversity and such beautiful views within it. But Alola, I genuinely think, like, if we're going to put any region in the bottom, it's either Sinnoh or Johto. Just because it has so much more landmarks and so much more memorable places than those two regions combined.
I would put Sinnoh in firefighting if I had it. Actually, shit.
I agree.
If I have to put either one into firefighting, like I hate to say it, but I think Sinnoh goes into firefighting. Like I'm willing to say that maybe I've maybe I'm giving Alola a bad rap here.
Like I actually agree.
Alola, now that I'm thinking about it again, Alola is not as bad as I thought about it. Like you're right. There are some cool places to be, and plus, it's an island. Like they have good a good spread of Pokemon. Like you can get a Psyduck super early, you can get a Ghastly super early. There's not that many bad Pokemon, and the routes are pretty well set.
And I will say this real quick. Actually, did you know you can get a level 9 Salamence only in the Alola region?
Yeah, I forgot about that. That was cool when I got it.
Yeah, so in all intents and purposes, I'm willing to trade a place with...
You need a level 9 Bagon, right?
Oh, no, you can get a level 9 Salamence, too.
What?
Yeah, the problem is, though, for that to happen, you're more likely to find 2 shiny Bagons before the Salamence, but you can get a level 9 Salamence. Hell, I have one because of it.
Fine. I can see the argument for Alola to go into C. We'll put it there.
And honestly, just because I was about to say, all the arguments that I proposed for Alola were better for it and just made Sinnoh look worse.
Yeah,
like Sinnoh's a watered down version of Alola.
As you kept going on, I'm like, God, Sinnoh sucks, but why do we say Johto's in Dunsparce again?
Because actually, now that I think about it, Johto's not much better. The only difference is I'm more likely to live in Johto than in Sinnoh, because Sinnoh, there's areas dedicated to just inconveniencing you at every step of the damn way. At least Johto, it's pretty more relaxed. At least if the power goes out, you can actually still enter in a damn city, or you don't have an area that's perpetually covered in fog, an area that's constantly raining with thunderstorms,
the
areas
marsh where you fall in and just get stuck in the mud.
And the snow that apparently is 2.5 to 3 feet deep.
Yeah, fucking Sinnoh. I'm curious if we move Johto to the old Dick Twist.
Honestly, I'm willing to make a swap, because the only thing that keeps Johto up...
Sinnoh deserves to be in the old Dick Twist.
The problem is there's actually some remarkable landmarks there. There's next to none in Johto is the problem. The best that Johto has is a tower that's burned down, I kid you not, a damn lighthouse.
The best this place has is a burned down building.
Yeah, a burned down building, a lighthouse, and a railroad system. At least Sinnoh has the birthplace of God and the deities of space, time, and essentially the underworld. Come on! I can't... That's the one thing where I'm I feel like Johto deserves to be at the bottom more than Sinnoh. Because of that, not to mention, I'll be real with you. Even in Sinnoh, some of their best landmarks, even in Johto, some of their best lakes, Sinnoh did better, as much as I hate to admit it. And hell, even the characters in Sinnoh are far leagues above. The type of people you'd meet in Sinnoh, I think it would be more interesting than Johto. Because the one set of characters they got that's actually interesting in Johto is the Kimono Girls. But, meanwhile in Sinnoh, we have a champion. And don't get me wrong, Lance as the champion in Johto did his job. He actually did try to help shit. But Cynthia ramped that up. She was all over the damn region.
I hate that you're making a compelling argument right now. because I can't front that. Like, you're right. Like, and I hate that you're right, but like, fuck. Why was Johto so bad?
And like, that doesn't even include like the Pokemon diversity. Like, yes, Sinnoh only has 2 fire types, but at least they have actual Mons that can stand up in a fight or survive. Half of Johto's new Mons are babies or single tier that their whole plan is to disguise as a damn tree.
Sudowoodo was alright. Don't be mean to Sudowoodo.
If they make him relevant, we'll talk again. Or Shuckle. Shuckle is the one like good / funny haha single stage Mon from that region, and that's because people made memes out of him. That's it. Like, every argument I can think of as to why Sinnoh should go in the bottom, Johto ramps that up even harder. Meanwhile, every positive thing I can think of for Sinnoh, or every positive thing I can think of for Johto, Sinnoh does better.
Dark types like all physical in Johto?
Actually, special.
Special, that's right.
Yeah, which is why like Sneasel was garbage in Gen 2, because he's a physical attacker and a special attack, and both his types are special based.
Fine.
Like,
but these are locked. We are not moving these anymore.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think we should move them anymore
I
because
do want to do this, however.
You know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I think Alola is better than Kanto in terms of, because it really is the landscapes and the overall quality of living style in Alola compared to Kanto that makes it better. Meanwhile, I think Kanto does have more diverse Mons, but Alola is just slightly above average. Now, Galar is gonna be interesting. Oh boy.
Well, we both know where Galar goes.
Like,
plain and simple.
I will say this: the DLCs did, in my opinion, help get
like,
it
drastically. It was helped by those DLCs. If those DLCs weren't there, Galar would be B, or maybe bottom of A. There's an argument for bottom of A, top of B, but honestly, Galar is just cool. There are cool places in Galar, and even though we gave Marnie's big brother shit earlier, like
I was praising him.
Huh?
I was actually praising him.
Yeah. Even though I was giving him shit earlier, his entire place is cool. Team Yell's hideout, which is just being like a whole city they've retroactively like.
I can understand that. But yeah, no, like Galar, because Galar by itself is kind of like Kanto, where there's some cool place. I would actually compare it more to like basically a demon love child of Alola in Kanto, where there's some interesting landmarks, but the rest of it's bland.
Here's why I say Galar has cool landmarks and they're better than Alola, is because nothing in that game truly slows you down. And everything that would be is actually just in the background. So it's there, but it doesn't impede your progress, unlike some regions.
We will not name them.
You stay on there for a fucking reason, Sinnoh.
Yeah. Like I said, if not for the DLCs, I'd put it low A, high B. But the DLCs provided so much more diversity that
even though Calyrex is probably one of the weirdest looking legendaries ever, I still say that, you know, like them together, like that it just looks cool. Everything is great. They have the raids, they have everything, they have the snowy mountains, they have like these cool valleys. They have these great little hidden areas in the just everything about those areas are cool. Everything like every single region that's in Hoenn has nearly an equivalent in Galar. But also lacking the volcano ash forest, that was just something completely unique to Hoenn.
Like, and I will say, like, at least with it, we got to see some of the culture of the Isle of Armor, where you do train with your Mons. It's not just, I sent you out, you could do this. No, you are training with your Mon. And I thought that was incredible. Or even in the Crown Tundra.
Do you remember when Isle of Armor was first advertised, and a bunch of people thought that Poison Chick was just Hop and Drag?
I actually never heard of that.
Oh, we talked about this on the podcast like years ago, or a year ago, I should say. Like that was a big fucking like fan theory, and everyone was like, "That's stupid."
Yeah, like she looks nothing like Hop.
I don't even know where people got that idea from. It's just weird. Like, what makes you think that Hop would even do that? I mean, he seemed to know what the hell he wanted to do after the end of the game. I mean, why would you think that he like? It makes no sense. Like, people are fucking weird.
They are. And I will say as well, like, because this is something I do want to mention, but Glimwood Forest, do we even need to talk about how honestly incredible that forest looks with the glowing mushrooms?
Oh,
I don't care for those
Glimwood.
type of places, but oh my god, did that look amazing.
I was actually half tempted to use a picture of Glimwood Forest as a picture for like an Underdark town, because that's exactly what I had in my head, just a vibrant town surrounded by darkness because of the glowing mushrooms. Like, Glimwood Forest looked amazing. Like I can't argue, I can't do anything like that. We're basically just arguing for there to be another tier above S right now.
Yeah. No, like, it's... In general, I don't disagree with Galar being an S tier based solely on region, and I feel that a vast majority of arguments to go against it to drop it down a notch is more afflicted towards the Dexit, which we're going off of what's the mons that are found there naturally, such as the regional Dex, not what the national one, and not just that, but more or less like people being a little salty about how the game turned out, which in my opinion, I think it turned out great. Like, there's huge stadiums. Like, we get to see, being a Pokemon champion and being the gym leaders is actually a key part of that region's culture.
Another reason why I love Galar so much, they actually show the gym leader ascension for once. When Bade becomes like the fairy type gym leader, I thought that was like one of the coolest moments in the entire game, because I'm like, oh my god, they're actually showing the like ascension of like a gym leader scouting out their like successor. It's such a cool moment, and I love it.
Well, not just that, but the way that they go about like getting who's the new champion is a tournament based, so all gym leaders have a chance. There's no Elite Four. Oh no, it's all the gym leaders squaring up with each other, and that's your Elite Four trial is going against them at their best.
Which is cool, which is super cool. I mean, can you it's like this. You have the tournament where the kids go at it, and the best of the kids then go up against all the gym leaders, and the gym leaders have a chance to be the next champion. It's such a unique and cool idea, plus every other gym leader gets a second run. That's really cool. Like, I can't think of another game besides Hoenn where I really wanted to go back and fight a gym leader again.
Yeah, like, honestly, like, the Galar region, like, running a tournament, and not to mention having, I know some people weren't happy about it with the whole, different editions of the game brought you different gym leaders, but I'm like, that allows replayability value rather than just different mons. Now I can try out fighting against different gym leaders. And just the idea that...
Do you like MILFs or Tom girls? Or tomboys. Fuck. Hang on, let me do that again. Do you like MILFs or tomboys?
Pretty much. And, I mean, like, it's just the fact that it is such a big key part of their culture that I find awesome from the stance of a competitive player. And that is something I can actually use that argument here, because that's a big part of the region. So, that's why I love it personally, and why I don't disagree with it being an S. I can see a bit of an argument for it being the highest point of A, but I think it does belong in S.
Those DLCs really, made the cutoff. You know what I mean? We can't argue with that.
Oh yeah, no, and I will say real quick, I do prefer the DLC route rather than having to buy an entire third copy to play almost the exact same game with minor differences. I would much rather
Can you imagine if they released another 2 games, Pokemon Crown and Pokemon Armor. How mad would everyone be?
Oh my goodness, people would lose it.
People would riot. There's another part of the game, but each one has its, oh god, I think everyone would stop playing Pokemon after that. That'd be like the biggest bullshit.
Oh yeah, and that's why I actually think that Game Freak doing DLCs instead of a 3rd edition. Hey, I'm down with that. I have no complaints. I would prefer that. We save 20. If they do 2 DLCs, we all just save $20, folks. I will take that in a heartbeat. Especially since
I remember the Crowd Tundra so vividly. I was in California when that dropped.
Oh yeah, and it's like the Crown Tundra, I won't lie, I didn't spend too much time in. I just am not a huge fan of wintry themes or really snowy theme areas. And Calyrex, he's one of my least favorite legendaries of all time.
It's just because he's weird looking. Let's face it, he just looks weird. If he didn't have those weird noodle arms and he had like a pair of like deer arms, or like he just wasn't as scrunched up as he was, he'd look better.
Honestly, my biggest problem is he's more humanoid. Like, he's like a strung out human with a deer face, and that's my problem, is I can't stand him. The horses, I thought the horses were incredible. I loved them. Calyrex alone ruins that design, in my opinion. But, again, it's wholly subjective. And that's why I want basically nothing to do with that abomination of a Mon. Like, I don't use him in any form of competitive out of spite, because I fucking hate him. Not to mention, you remember Soul Eater?
No.
Well, if you ever encounter a character by the name of Excalibur and Soul Eater, that's Calyrex for you.
Oh god, you were talking about this last week. Like,
yeah.
Before we started the episode, you were talking about this.
Yep, and now I can't get that out of my head.
Alright, well, that's the tier list, folks. The complete and utter, definitive tier list. Fight in the comments. Alright. I should probably stop making that joke before someone actually comes to hang me.
Yeah, probably not a good idea.
I'm gonna get crucified.
I mean,
Alright. That's it for this week. Join us next week with... what's next week's topic gonna be?
Honestly, I have some ideas in regarding to specifics of Pokemon from regions, or even to starter conversation, because there's an interesting one I saw pop up.
Oh, we're going to be discussing starters next week. Well, you heard it here, folks. Join us next week. We'll be arguing about starters. Goodbye!
Goodbye.
The fuck is the record button? There it is.